Apple is facing a one-two punch of bad security news for the iPhone. A group of security experts released a paper which sheds new light on just how big a threat this might be and what it might do for the iPhone. Silicon Valley Bureau Chief Jim Goldman is live in San Jose with the details. And Jim, this is it could be even bigger than Apple.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty big problem that we're going to see addressed on a regular basis. Apple's Macs, Aaron, have always been able to avoid the kinds of malicious viruses plaguing their PC brethren simply because there weren't enough Macs on the market to make writing viruses really worth it. Not so with iPhone, which is gobbling up market share left and right, selling 8.7 million units last quarter, a 100% year-over-year increase, and now apparently what could be a juicy target for hackers. Scientists and software engineers at the Black Hat Security Conference in Washington this week are detailing two key flaws at Apple that could turn your iPhone into a spy phone. Researchers cite lax security on the Apple App Store, which boasts more than 140,000 apps now and over 3 billion downloads so far. One researcher created an open-source proof-of-concept spyware app that can access Safari searches, YouTube history, email account data, your photos, even GPS data so you can physically be tracked. And there's a warning to professional users as well. They should avoid running untrusted applications, researchers say, especially if they are required by law to protect data confidentiality. This includes bankers, attorneys, medical staffers, law enforcement, and corporate legal departments. Now, the trouble here, say researchers, is that this isn't merely about lax security for app approval, but a design flaw that allows this kind of software into apps to begin with. Apple didn't return emails and phone calls today, but as this topic gains interest and if it becomes a competitive differentiator with other smartphone makers and their online app stores, it's very likely Apple will have to start to address this publicly. And Aaron, so far, they just haven't. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Jim Goldman. So let's find out more about what this means and what the risks really are to iPhone users, and also as a broader cybersecurity question for the country. Michael Gregg joins us, cybersecurity consultant. Michael, I hear you are a certified ethical hacker. Please explain what that means. Does that mean you are certified to break the law? And what does the word ethical getting thrown in here mean?
Thank you very much for having me today, and thank you for putting the word ethical in there. Actually, my company, Superior Solutions, Inc., what we do is we do security assessments for firms. So we actually, with a firm's or company's permission, we actually take and hack or attack or look at their security perimeter and their defenses in the same way that an attacker would.
Okay, so in other words, you can kind of go in and try to attack it, then they would know how it gets done, then you could hypothetically protect against it. So what is the real risk here when Jim Goldman was giving that report on this smartphone attack app? How big of a problem is this?
This is actually a pretty big problem because the real issue here is any time that a proof of concept comes out and a proof of concept is released, it shows to the general hacking community, and this is not only ethical hackers but the malicious individuals, how these attacks could actually take place. If we take and we look at this into perspective, we can see in the 1980s when the concept of a computer virus came out, at first it was just a concept, but within literally months we started seeing an entire flood of computer viruses. So the same thing here, we see a proof of concept released, and from that now developers that want to act maliciously could actually start to develop here malicious applications based on this knowledge.
So is this something that could also then threaten corporate America? I mean, iPhones obviously are still primarily for personal use, but it sounds like what you're talking about would be much broader than that.
Yes, most definitely. This is really here could focus on two areas, on consumers but also corporate America. Because an attacker could take and do several things with this. One, if I was a spammer, maybe I release a free game that you download, and then when you play the game, it takes and extracts all your email addresses and actually pulls those out and then sends those back to the attacker for them to spam your friends.
All right, Michael.
Maybe I'm...
Sorry,
yes.
I've got to leave it there. We have some breaking news, but I appreciate your taking the time. Michael Gregg with us there, and we do have some breaking news now from Ben.